It was our 10th wedding anniversary, and I had planned a surprise party for Jessica. The house was adorned with balloons and streamers, and the living room echoed with laughter and music as our friends gathered to celebrate. Everything seemed perfect. As the night wore on, I noticed something off about Jessica. She seemed distant, often disappearing for long stretches and missing key moments, like the toast I made in her honor. It was unusual for her to be so detached, especially on such an important night. Around midnight, I realized both Jessica and my brother Michael were nowhere to be found. A nagging suspicion gnawed at my mind, and I decided to check if everything was all right. I moved through the house, searching room after room until I reached our bedroom. Opening the door, I was hit by a sight that turned my world upside down. There, tangled in the sheets, were Jessica and Michael, lost in a moment of passion. My mind went blank, my body frozen in place. For a moment, I couldn't comprehend what I was seeing. Rage surged through me, snapping me back to reality. "What the hell is going on here?" I shouted, my voice shaking with anger and disbelief. Michael scrambled out of bed, grabbed his clothes, and darted out of the room, unable to meet my eyes. Jessica, on the other hand, burst into tears. "I'm so sorry," she cried, reaching out towards me. "I didn't mean for this to happen." I stepped back, unable to bear her touch. "How long has this been going on?" I demanded, my heart pounding in my chest. "It was a mistake," she sobbed. "It just happened recently. I didn't know how to tell you." Her words felt like knives, each one cutting deeper into the wound. I turned away, trying to process the betrayal. After a few moments of silence, Jessica's voice broke through my thoughts. "Maybe this will help," she said, her voice trembling. "You can cheat on me. Maybe if you do, it will make things even, and we can move past this." I stared at her in disbelief. The idea was absurd, yet I couldn't deny the flicker of temptation it ignited. The thought of revenge, of making her feel the same pain I did, was oddly alluring. The next few days were a blur of anger, confusion, and contemplation. Jessica's proposal haunted me. My pride was shattered, and I desperately wanted to regain some sense of control and dignity. That's when I met Emma. We ran into each other at a bar, an old friend who always had a flirtatious spark. This time it felt different. I knew I had Jessica's permission, and the idea of it made me feel powerful and in control. Emma and I spent the night together, her presence a temporary balm for my wounded ego. But when I returned home, the emptiness inside me remained. The pain of Jessica's betrayal still lingered, and the brief satisfaction of my own infidelity had done nothing to erase it. Jessica knew. She saw it in my eyes the moment I walked through the door. We sat down and talked for hours, confronting the hurt and confusion that had enveloped us. We both realized that our actions had only deepened the rift between us. Despite everything, we decided to try to salvage our marriage. It wouldn't be easy, but we sought help from a therapist, hoping to rebuild what had been broken. Our journey was far from over, but we were willing to face it together, learning from our mistakes and striving to heal. Walking into the therapist's office for the first time felt like stepping onto a battlefield. The air was thick with tension, and neither Jessica nor I knew what to expect. We were both raw, wounded, and uncertain if this was even the right path to take. But we had agreed to try, and that was a start. Dr. Anderson greeted us with a warm smile, ushering us into a cozy room filled with soft chairs and calming decor. "Welcome," she said, her voice gentle yet authoritative. "I'm glad you both decided to come. Let's start with why you're here." Jessica and I exchanged a glance before I took a deep breath and began to speak. We've had some serious issues in our marriage," I said, my voice wavering. "We both made mistakes. Big ones." Dr. Anderson nodded, her eyes encouraging us to continue. Jessica shifted uncomfortably in her seat, her eyes downcast. "I had an affair," she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. "With his brother." Saying it out loud made the wound feel fresh again, but it was a necessary step. Dr. Anderson listened without judgment, then turned to me. "And how did you respond to that?" I clenched my hands into fists, trying to keep my emotions in check. I did the same," I confessed. "She gave me permission to cheat, to make things even. So I did." The therapist nodded again, taking notes. "It sounds like there is a lot of pain and betrayal on both sides. The first step is to understand why these things happened and to communicate honestly with each other. This will not be an easy process, but it is essential for healing. Over the next few weeks, we attended sessions regularly. Each time, Dr. Anderson guided us through exercises designed to rebuild trust and improve communication. We were encouraged to express our feelings openly and honestly, no matter how uncomfortable it made us. One session, in particular, stands out in my memory. Dr. Anderson asked us to write letters to each other, detailing our feelings about the affair and its aftermath. We were to read these letters aloud, in front of her. I spent hours writing mine, pouring every ounce of pain, anger, and confusion onto the paper. When the day came to read it, my hands shook as I unfolded the letter. I took a deep breath and began. Jessica, when I walked into that room and saw you with Michael, it felt like my heart had been ripped out. I trusted you more than anyone in the world, and in that moment, everything shattered. I felt betrayed, humiliated, and completely lost. I paused, glancing up at her. Tears streamed down her face, but she nodded for me to continue. I understand now that I made things worse by trying to get even. My night with Emma didn't heal anything. It just added more pain. I realized that my actions hurt you, and I'm sorry for that. But I'm also hurt, and I don't know how to move past this. Jessica's letter was just as emotional. She explained how she had felt neglected and unappreciated, turning to Michael in a moment of weakness. She expressed deep regret and a desire to rebuild our relationship, acknowledging that it would take time and effort from both of us. Dr. Anderson helped us navigate these intense emotions, offering strategies for rebuilding trust. We started setting small goals, like spending more quality time together and practicing active listening. Gradually, we began to feel a sense of connection that had been missing for so long. One evening, a few months into our therapy, Jessica and I sat on the porch, watching the sunset. For the first time in a long while, the silence between us felt comfortable rather than oppressive. She reached out and took my hand, giving it a gentle squeeze. "Thank you for sticking with this," she said softly. "I know it's been hard, but I really believe we can get through this." I squeezed her hand back, feeling a glimmer of hope. "Me too," I replied. "We've got a long way to go, but as long as we're together, I think we can make it." Our journey was far from over, but we had taken the first steps towards healing. The path ahead was uncertain, but we were determined to face it together, one day at a time. As the weeks turned into months, Jessica and I worked hard to rebuild the trust that had been shattered. Therapy sessions with Dr. Anderson became a crucial part of our routine, each one peeling back layers of hurt and misunderstanding that had accumulated over the years. One of the exercises Dr. Anderson introduced was called Honest Hour. For 1 hour every week, Jessica and I would sit down together with no distractions and talk openly about anything on our minds. It was difficult at first, but gradually it became a space where we could communicate without fear of judgment. During one of our honest hours, I decided to bring up a topic that had been weighing on my mind. "Jess, there's something I need to talk about," I began, feeling the familiar knot of anxiety tightening in my stomach. "It's about Michael." Her face paled slightly, but she nodded, encouraging me to continue. "I know we've talked about what happened, but I still feel like there's a lot of unresolved tension between us because of him. I don't know how to deal with it." Jessica took a deep breath, her eyes reflecting a mix of guilt and understanding. "I get that. I haven't spoken to him since that night, and honestly, I'm not sure if I ever want to again. But I know that doesn't erase what happened or make it easier for you." The conversation was painful, but it was a step forward. We agreed to set boundaries when it came to Michael, ensuring that he would no longer be a part of our lives. It was a difficult decision, but necessary for our healing. Another significant turning point came when Jessica suggested we take a weekend trip together. "I think we need some time away from everything," she said, "just the two of us, to reconnect and remember why we fell in love in the first place." I was hesitant at first, worried that the trip might stir up more emotions than we were ready to handle. But eventually, I agreed, and we booked a cabin in the mountains. The drive up was filled with nervous anticipation. We had packed light, bringing only the essentials and a few items that held sentimental value. As we wound our way through the forested roads, the tension began to ease, replaced by a sense of adventure. The cabin was cozy and secluded, nestled among tall trees and overlooking a serene lake. That first evening, we built a fire and sat outside, wrapped in blankets as the stars appeared overhead. "This place is beautiful," Jessica said softly, leaning her head on my shoulder. "I'm glad we came." I nodded, feeling a sense of peace that had been absent for so long. Me too. Over the next few days, we hiked, cooked meals together, and spent hours talking. Away from the distractions of our daily lives, we found it easier to focus on each other and rebuild the connection that had been strained by the betrayal. One afternoon, as we sat by the lake, Jessica took my hand and looked into my eyes. "I know I've hurt you deeply, and I can never fully make up for that. But I want you to know that I am committed to us, to our future. I love you, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make things right." Her words brought tears to my eyes. "I love you too, Jess. We've been through hell, but I believe we can come out stronger on the other side. It's going to take time, but I'm here for the long haul." As the sun set over the lake, we shared a moment of profound connection and understanding. It wasn't a magic fix. The pain and mistrust didn't disappear overnight. But it was a start, a new foundation upon which we could build. Returning home, we carried that sense of renewal with us. We continued our therapy sessions, and honest hour remained a staple in our routine. Each day brought new challenges, but also new opportunities to grow and heal. Slowly but surely, we began to see the light at the end of the tunnel. The road ahead was still long, and there would undoubtedly be more bumps along the way. But for the first time in a long time, we were facing it together, hand in hand, ready to rebuild our lives one step at a time. The cabin trip marked a turning point for Jessica and me. Back at home, the healing process continued. It was slow and often painful, but we were making progress. Dr. Anderson had given us the tools we needed, and we were determined to use them. One of the most challenging aspects was rebuilding intimacy. It wasn't just about physical closeness. It was about regaining the emotional and mental connection that had been fractured. Dr. Anderson suggested a series of exercises to help us reconnect on a deeper level. One exercise involved creating a memory jar. We filled it with slips of paper, each one detailing a positive memory from our time together. Whenever we felt distant or disconnected, we would pull a memory from the jar and reminisce. It was a simple but powerful way to remind ourselves of the good times and the strong bond we had shared before everything fell apart. One evening, Jessica pulled out a memory that made us both smile. "Our first road trip," she read aloud, "the one where we got lost for hours and ended up camping under the stars because we couldn't find the hotel." I laughed, remembering how frustrated we had been at the time, only to end up having one of the best nights of our lives. "I think that's when I realized I wanted to spend the rest of my life with you," I admitted. Jessica's eyes softened. "Me too. We turned what could have been a disaster into an adventure. That's what I love about us. We always find a way to make things work." Another exercise we practiced was appreciation time. Each night before bed, we took turns expressing something we appreciated about the other. It could be something small, like making a cup of coffee, or something bigger, like handling a stressful situation with grace. This practice helped us focus on the positive aspects of our relationship and reinforced our commitment to each other. As the months went by, we noticed a gradual but steady improvement in our communication and trust. We still had disagreements and moments of doubt, but we faced them together, armed with the skills and understanding we had gained through therapy. One Saturday morning, Jessica surprised me with a proposal. "What do you think about renewing our vows?" she asked, her eyes hopeful. "I feel like we've been through so much, and I want to reaffirm our commitment to each other. A fresh start, you know?" The idea touched me deeply. "I think that's a wonderful idea," I replied. "It's a way to celebrate how far we've come and look forward to our future." We began planning a small, intimate ceremony, inviting only our closest friends and family. It was a chance to not only renew our vows, but also to acknowledge the support we had received from those around us. We chose a beautiful park by the lake for the ceremony, a place that symbolized peace and new beginnings. On the day of the vow renewal, the sun shone brightly, and a gentle breeze rustled the leaves. Jessica looked stunning in a simple, elegant dress, and I felt a surge of love and gratitude as I stood beside her. We had written our own vows, and as we exchanged them, tears filled our eyes. "I promise to love you, support you, and stand by you through all of life's challenges," I said, my voice filled with emotion. "We've faced some of the toughest times together, and I believe our love is stronger because of it." Jessica smiled through her tears. "I promise to cherish you, to be honest with you, and to never take our love for granted. We've come so far, and I'm excited to see where our journey takes us next." After the ceremony, we celebrated with our loved ones, feeling a sense of joy and renewal that had been absent for so long. It wasn't just about the vows, it was about the journey we had taken to get to this point. We had faced our darkest moments and emerged stronger, more united, and more in love than ever. As the evening wound down, Jessica and I stole a moment alone, standing by the lake and watching the sunset. "We did it," she whispered, leaning into me. "We made it through." I wrapped my arms around her, feeling a profound sense of contentment. Yes, we did, and I'm so grateful for every step we took to get here. The future was still uncertain, but for the first time in a long while I felt hopeful. We had rebuilt our foundation, and though there would undoubtedly be challenges ahead, I knew we could face them together. Our journey was far from over, but it was a journey we were ready to embrace hand in hand, with love and resilience guiding our way. Renewing our vows had given Jessica and me a renewed sense of purpose and commitment. However, despite our progress, I couldn't shake the lingering unease whenever I thought about Michael. His betrayal had cut deep, and I knew I needed closure. It was time to confront him and face the past head-on. I decided to reach out to Michael, requesting a meeting. My stomach churned with anxiety as I dialed his number. He answered on the third ring, his voice wary. "Hey, it's been a while." "Yeah, it has," I replied, trying to keep my tone neutral. "Can we meet? There's a lot we need to talk about." There was a pause, then he agreed. We arranged to meet at a quiet cafe, a neutral ground where we could have a candid conversation. On the day of our meeting, I felt a mixture of anger, apprehension, and determination. I arrived early, choosing a table in the corner. When Michael walked in, he looked as anxious as I felt. We exchanged a brief, tense nod before sitting down. For a few moments, neither of us spoke. Finally, Michael broke the silence. "I'm sorry," he said, his voice barely audible. "I know that doesn't fix anything, but I need you to know how much I regret what happened." I took a deep breath, struggling to keep my emotions in check. "Why, Mike? Why did you do it?" He looked down, shame written all over his face. "I don't have a good excuse. I was jealous, I guess. I saw how happy you were, how perfect everything seemed, and I wanted that for myself. It was stupid and selfish." His words stung, but there was a sincerity in his eyes that I couldn't ignore. "You broke my trust, Mike. Not just as a brother, but as a friend. It's going to take a long time for me to forgive you if I ever can." "I understand," he replied. "I just want you to know that I'm truly sorry and that I've been working on myself. I've been seeing a therapist, trying to understand why I did what I did and how to be a better person." Hearing that Michael was taking steps to improve himself was somewhat reassuring, but it didn't erase the pain. "I appreciate that, but it doesn't change what happened." We talked for a while longer, airing out our grievances and expressing our hurt. It wasn't an easy conversation, but it was necessary. By the end, I felt a small measure of relief. Confronting Michael allowed me to start letting go of some of the anger I had been holding on to. Returning home, I shared the experience with Jessica. She listened intently, her eyes filled with empathy. "I'm proud of you," she said, hugging me tightly. "I know that wasn't easy." "It wasn't," I admitted, "but it was something I needed to do. I feel like I can finally start to move on." With Michael's chapter beginning to close, we focused on continuing our healing journey. We resumed our therapy sessions, addressing the remaining issues in our relationship and building new habits to strengthen our bond. One of the most significant changes was our renewed commitment to spending quality time together. We planned weekly date nights, exploring new activities and rediscovering old hobbies we both enjoyed. From hiking and biking to simply cooking dinner together, these moments helped us reconnect on a deeper level. One evening, during a particularly memorable date night, we found ourselves at a local art gallery. Jessica had always loved art, and I enjoyed seeing her face light up as she admired the paintings and sculptures. We wandered through the exhibits hand in hand, discussing our favorites and sharing our thoughts. As we stood in front of a particularly striking piece, a vibrant abstract painting, I felt a surge of gratitude. "I'm glad we're here," I said softly. Not just at the gallery, but here, together, making this work. Jessica smiled, squeezing my hand. Me too. I know we've been through a lot, but I feel like we're stronger now. We're learning to appreciate the little things and each other. Our conversations grew more profound, touching on dreams and aspirations for the future. We talked about our careers, our hobbies, and even the possibility of starting a family someday. It felt good to envision a future together, one built on a foundation of trust and understanding. The more we communicated, the more our bond deepened. We learned to navigate our disagreements with compassion and patience, recognizing that our relationship was a partnership requiring effort and mutual respect. One afternoon, as we sat on our porch, Jessica turned to me with a thoughtful expression. "I've been thinking," she said, "what if we started volunteering together? Giving back to the community might help us feel more connected and purposeful." I love the idea. "That sounds great. We could find a cause we're both passionate about and make a difference together." We researched various opportunities and eventually decided to volunteer at a local animal shelter. Spending time caring for the animals and helping with their adoption events brought us immense joy and strengthened our bond further. It was a rewarding experience, reminding us of the importance of compassion and teamwork. As the months passed, our lives began to feel more balanced and harmonious. We continued to face challenges, but with a newfound resilience and dedication to each other. Our journey was far from over, but each step we took brought us closer together, reinforcing our love and commitment. One evening, as we sat by the fire, Jessica leaned her head on my shoulder and sighed contentedly. "I'm so grateful for everything we've been through," she said. "It hasn't been easy, but it's made us who we are today." I kissed the top of her head, feeling a deep sense of peace. I couldn't agree more. We've come a long way, and I'm excited for what the future holds. Our journey had been filled with pain, betrayal, and hard-fought healing. But through it all, we had discovered a deeper, more resilient love, one that could withstand the storms and emerge stronger on the other side. And with that love, we were ready to face whatever came next, together. The progress Jessica and I had made brought a sense of calm and stability to our lives. We were stronger than ever, but life has a way of testing even the most resilient bonds. Our newfound trust was about to be challenged in a way we hadn't anticipated. It started with a job opportunity for Jessica. Her company was opening a new branch in a neighboring city, and they wanted her to lead the project. It was a significant career advancement, something she had worked hard for and truly deserved. But it also meant she would have to spend several months away from home, only coming back on weekends. When she first told me about it, I felt a mix of pride and apprehension. "That's amazing, Jess," I said, trying to sound as supportive as possible. "But how do you feel about being away for so long?" She looked conflicted. "I'm excited about the opportunity, but I'm worried about us. We've come so far, and I don't want this to set us back." I took her hand, giving it a reassuring squeeze. "We've been through worse. If this is something you want to do, we'll make it work. We'll just have to stay committed to each other, no matter the distance." We discussed it at length, weighing the pros and cons. Ultimately, we decided that Jessica should take the job. It was too good an opportunity to pass up, and we both believed our relationship was strong enough to handle the separation. As the day of her departure approached, we made plans to ensure we stayed connected. We set up regular video calls, planned weekend visits, and even wrote letters to each other. Despite the preparations, the thought of being apart was daunting. The first few weeks were challenging. The house felt empty without Jessica, and I struggled with the loneliness. Our video calls became a lifeline, helping us stay connected despite the physical distance. We shared our daily experiences, our hopes, and our worries, keeping the lines of communication open. One Friday evening, as I was getting ready for Jessica's weekend visit, I received a call from an unknown number. Hesitant, I answered it. "Hello?" "Hi, is this Adam?" a woman's voice asked. "This is Laura from the shelter. I'm really sorry to bother you, but I thought you should know something." My heart sank as I listened to her explain that Michael had shown up at the shelter earlier that day, asking about me. He had left a message, saying he wanted to talk, that it was important. The mere mention of his name brought back a flood of emotions. I hadn't seen or spoken to him since our confrontation at the cafe. When Jessica arrived later that evening, I told her about the call. She looked concerned. "Do you think you should meet him?" I don't know, I admitted. Part of me thinks it might be good to get some closure, but another part is still so angry and hurt. I'm not sure if I'm ready. She took my hand, her eyes filled with understanding. Whatever you decide, I'll support you. Just remember that you're not alone in this. I decided to meet Michael the next day, hoping it would help put the past to rest. We agreed to meet at a park, a neutral place where we could talk openly. Michael looked different, more subdued, almost fragile. He greeted me with a tentative smile. Thanks for coming, Adam. I wasn't sure if I should, I replied honestly. But I'm here. What do you need to say? He took a deep breath, his hands trembling slightly. I've been doing a lot of thinking, and I realize how much I messed up. I don't expect you to forgive me, but I want to make amends. I'm moving out of state for a fresh start, and I just wanted to see you one last time, to apologize properly. His words were sincere, and for the first time I saw the depth of his remorse. It didn't erase the pain, but it helped to know he was taking responsibility for his actions. I appreciate that, I said, my voice thick with emotion. I don't know if I can ever forgive you completely, but I'm willing to try and let go of the anger. We talked for a while longer, discussing our plans and reflecting on the past. When we parted ways, I felt a weight lift from my shoulders. The chapter with Michael was finally closing, allowing me to move forward without the burden of unresolved feelings. Back home, I shared the experience with Jessica. She hugged me tightly, her eyes shining with pride. I'm so proud of you, Adam. That couldn't have been easy. It wasn't, I admitted. But I think it was necessary. We've both grown so much, and I want us to keep moving forward, without any more shadows from the past. Jessica's job continued to keep her away during the week, but we found ways to stay close. Our weekend visits became cherished moments of connection and renewal. We explored new places, tried new activities, and deepened our bond with each passing day. One weekend, we decided to go hiking in a nearby national park. The trail was challenging, but the stunning views made it worthwhile. As we reached a lookout point, the panorama spread before us, a breathtaking expanse of mountains and valleys bathed in the golden glow of the setting sun. We sat down to catch our breath, enjoying the beauty around us. Jessica turned to me, her expression thoughtful. You know, I've been thinking about our future a lot lately. Me too, I replied, curious about what was on her mind. I know we've talked about starting a family someday, she began, but I think we should also consider other ways to make a difference. Maybe we could start a foundation or get involved in community projects, something that reflects our values and helps others. Her words resonated deeply with me. I love that idea. We've been through so much, and if we can use our experiences to help others, that would be incredible. We spent the rest of the hike discussing possibilities, brainstorming ideas, and dreaming about the impact we could make. It felt good to think about the future in such a positive light, focusing on growth and contribution. As Jessica's project neared completion, we began looking forward to her return. The months apart had been challenging, but they had also strengthened our relationship in unexpected ways. We had learned to communicate more effectively, to appreciate each other more deeply, and to face challenges with resilience and grace. When Jessica finally moved back home, it felt like the missing piece of our lives had been restored. We celebrated with a quiet evening at home, enjoying each other's company and reflecting on the journey we had taken. I'm so glad to be back, Jessica said, snuggling into my arms. I missed this, us. Me too, I replied, holding her close. We've been through so much, but I wouldn't trade any of it. It's made us who we are, and I'm excited for the future. Our journey was far from over, but we were ready to face whatever came next, together. We had rebuilt our trust, deepened our love, and found new ways to grow. The road ahead was filled with possibilities, and we were eager to explore them, hand in hand, ready for whatever adventures life had in store. With Jessica back home and our relationship stronger than ever, we felt ready to embark on new adventures and embrace the changes ahead. Our discussions about making a difference had sparked a newfound sense of purpose in both of us. We decided to take the first steps toward turning our ideas into reality. One evening, as we sat on the porch, I brought up the idea of starting a community garden. Remember how we talked about getting involved in community projects? I was thinking, what if we started a community garden? It could be a place for people to come together, grow their own food, and learn about sustainable living. Jessica's eyes lit up with excitement. I love that idea. It's a great way to bring people together and promote a sense of community. Plus, it aligns with our values of giving back and living sustainably. We began researching community gardens and reached out to local organizations for guidance. Our enthusiasm grew with each step, and soon we had a clear vision of what we wanted to create. We found a vacant lot in our neighborhood that was perfect for the project and started the process of acquiring the necessary permits and funding. The next few months were a whirlwind of activity. We rallied support from our neighbors, organized fundraisers, and even enlisted the help of local businesses. The community's response was overwhelmingly positive, and it was heartwarming to see so many people eager to get involved. On the day of the garden's grand opening, we were both filled with a sense of pride and accomplishment. The once empty lot was now a vibrant space filled with raised beds, compost bins, and colorful flower borders. Families, friends, and neighbors gathered to celebrate, planting the first seeds and sharing in the joy of creating something meaningful together. As we worked side by side, digging in the soil and chatting with our fellow gardeners, I realized how far we had come. The community garden was more than just a project. It was a symbol of our resilience, our growth, and our commitment to each other and to the world around us. Jessica and I continued to volunteer at the animal shelter and explore other ways to give back. We joined a local mentoring program, helping young people develop skills and confidence. Each new endeavor brought us closer together, reinforcing our bond and our shared sense of purpose. Despite our busy schedules, we made sure to prioritize our relationship. Our date nights became sacred, a time to reconnect and enjoy each other's company. We found joy in the simple things, cooking together, going for walks, and cuddling up with a good book or movie. One evening, as we were preparing dinner, Jessica turned to me with a smile. "You know, I've been thinking a lot about our future. I think it's time we start talking seriously about having a family." Her words filled me with a mix of excitement and nervousness. "I've been thinking about that too. I feel like we're in a good place now, and I'd love to start a family with you." We spent the evening discussing our hopes and dreams for our future children, feeling a sense of anticipation and joy. The thought of creating a family together was both exhilarating and comforting, a natural next step in our journey. As we moved forward with our plans, we encountered the usual ups and downs of life. There were moments of joy and moments of frustration, but through it all, we remained committed to each other and to our shared goals. One particularly challenging period came when I faced unexpected layoffs at work. The news hit hard, and I struggled with feelings of uncertainty and fear about our financial stability. Jessica was my rock during this time, offering unwavering support and encouragement. "We'll get through this," she assured me. "We've faced bigger challenges before, and we've always come out stronger. We'll find a way to make it work." Her confidence and optimism helped me regain my footing. I updated my resume, reached out to contacts in my industry, and began exploring new opportunities. It wasn't easy, but eventually, I landed a new job that not only matched my skills, but also aligned with our values. The experience reinforced the importance of resilience and adaptability in our relationship. We had learned to face challenges together, supporting each other through thick and thin. Each obstacle became an opportunity for growth, strengthening our bond and deepening our love. One sunny afternoon, as we tended to the community garden, Jessica looked up from planting a row of tomatoes and smiled at me. "I've been thinking about how far we've come. It's incredible to see everything we've accomplished together." I nodded, feeling a sense of pride and contentment. "It really is. We've turned our challenges into opportunities and built a life we can be proud of. I'm grateful for every step of our journey." As we continued to plant and nurture the garden, I realized how much our lives had changed since that fateful night when I discovered Jessica's betrayal. We had faced our darkest moments and emerged stronger, more united, and more committed to each other and to making a difference in the world. Our journey was far from over, but we were ready for whatever came next. With love, resilience, and a shared sense of purpose, we knew we could face any challenge and embrace any change. Our future was bright, and we were eager to continue building a life filled with love, growth, and meaningful connections. With the community garden flourishing and our relationship stronger than ever, Jessica and I felt ready to embrace the next chapter of our lives. We continued to volunteer and support local initiatives, finding fulfillment in giving back to the community. Our discussions about starting a family became more frequent and serious. One Saturday morning, Jessica suggested we take a day trip to a nearby town known for its picturesque scenery and quaint charm. We packed a picnic, hopped in the car, and set off for a day of exploration and relaxation. As we drove through winding country roads, the conversation naturally turned to our future. "I've been thinking," Jessica began, her voice thoughtful. "What if we move to a place like this, somewhere quieter, where we can have more space and a slower pace of life? It could be a great environment to raise a family." I considered her words, looking out at the rolling hills and serene landscapes. "I like the idea. It would be a big change, but it could be exactly what we need. A fresh start in a new place, away from the hustle and bustle." We spent the day wandering through the town, imagining what it would be like to live there. The idea of moving to a quieter place started to take root, and by the time we returned home, we were excited about the possibility. Over the next few weeks, we researched potential locations and visited a few towns that caught our interest. We made a list of priorities: good schools, a sense of community, access to nature, and started narrowing down our options. The more we explored, the more we realized that moving could be the perfect way to begin the next chapter of our lives. One evening, as we sat on the porch, Jessica looked at me with a determined expression. "I think we should go for it, Adam. Let's find a new place to call home and start building the life we've been dreaming about." I smiled, feeling a surge of excitement and anticipation. "I'm with you, Jess. Let's do it." We put our house on the market and began the process of finding our new home. It was a whirlwind of activity, packing, saying goodbye to friends, and preparing for the move. Amid the chaos, we made sure to cherish the moments we spent together, knowing that this was a significant step in our journey. After several months of searching, we found the perfect place, a charming house in a small town surrounded by nature. It had everything we were looking for: a spacious yard, a strong sense of community, and plenty of opportunities for outdoor activities. We knew immediately that it was the right fit. Moving day arrived, and as we unpacked boxes and settled into our new home, we felt a mixture of excitement and nostalgia. The new house represented a fresh start, but it also carried the weight of all the memories we had created in our old home. One evening, as we sat on our new porch, watching the sunset over the distant hills, Jessica took my hand. "This feels right," she said softly. "It's the beginning of something new, and I'm so glad we're doing it together." I squeezed her hand, feeling a deep sense of contentment. "Me too. We've come so far, and I'm excited for everything that lies ahead." Life in our new town quickly fell into a comfortable rhythm. We made new friends, got involved in local activities, and continued our commitment to community service. Jessica found a job at a nearby school, and I started working remotely, enjoying the flexibility and balance it brought to our lives. As we settled into our new routine, we revisited our discussions about starting a family. The peaceful environment and supportive community made it feel like the perfect time. We began planning and preparing, excited about the prospect of welcoming a new addition to our lives. One sunny afternoon, as we worked in the community garden, Jessica turned to me with a hopeful smile. "I have some news," she said, her eyes shining with excitement. "I'm pregnant." I felt a rush of emotions, joy, excitement, and a touch of nervousness. "That's amazing, Jess. I'm so happy." We hugged, laughing and crying at the same time. It was a moment of pure happiness, a culmination of all the hard work and love we had put into rebuilding our relationship and our lives. The months that followed were filled with anticipation and preparation. We decorated the nursery, attended prenatal classes, and read every book we could find about parenting. It was a time of bonding and growth, as we supported each other through the ups and downs of pregnancy. One evening, as we sat on the porch feeling the baby kick for the first time, Jessica looked at me with tears in her eyes. "I can't believe how far we've come," she said softly. "From the darkest moments to this, our dream coming true." I kissed her forehead, feeling a profound sense of gratitude. We've faced everything together, and will continue to do so. I'm so excited for our future and for this new adventure. As the due date approached, we felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. The night Jessica went into labor, we rushed to the hospital, hearts pounding with anticipation. The hours that followed were intense and exhausting, but when we finally held our newborn daughter in our arms, all the challenges and hardships faded away. Looking at our baby's tiny face, I felt a love unlike anything I had ever experienced. "Welcome to the world, little one," I whispered. "You're so loved." Jessica and I shared a look of pure joy and fulfillment. Our journey had been filled with trials and triumphs, but it had led us to this moment, a new beginning, filled with hope and endless possibilities. As we brought our daughter home, we felt a deep sense of peace and happiness. Our lives had come full circle, and we were ready to embrace the future, hand in hand, with our hearts full of love. The road ahead would undoubtedly bring new challenges, but we were confident that, together, we could face anything. Our journey was just beginning, and we were excited to see where it would take us. Bringing our newborn daughter Lily home marked the beginning of an entirely new chapter in our lives. The house, once filled with the quiet of two adults finding their way, now echoed with the soft cries and coos of our baby girl. Parenthood brought a mixture of overwhelming joy and unexpected challenges, testing our patience and resilience in ways we hadn't imagined. Our days quickly fell into a rhythm of sleepless nights, diaper changes, and feeding schedules. Jessica and I took turns caring for Lily, ensuring that both of us got enough rest to function. Despite the exhaustion, every smile and giggle from our daughter made it all worthwhile. The simple moments, like watching her sleep or feeling her tiny fingers grasp ours, filled our hearts with love deeper than we ever thought possible. One evening, as I rocked Lily to sleep, I glanced over at Jessica, who was sitting on the couch, a tired but content smile on her face. "Can you believe we're parents?" I whispered, marveling at how our lives had changed. Jessica looked up and nodded, her eyes filled with warmth. "It's incredible, isn't it? I'm so grateful for everything we've built together." As the weeks turned into months, we found ourselves growing more confident in our roles as parents. We navigated the ups and downs of sleepless nights and teething pains, always supporting each other through the tough moments. Our bond continued to deepen as we shared in the joy of watching Lily grow and discover the world around her. One particularly challenging night, when Lily was teething and inconsolable, Jessica and I took turns trying to soothe her. I could see the exhaustion in Jessica's eyes as she rocked Lily in her arms, softly singing a lullaby. I gently took Lily from her, giving her a chance to rest. "Why don't you get some sleep? I'll take over for a while," I suggested. Jessica smiled weakly, her gratitude evident. "Thank you, Adam. I don't know what I'd do without you." As I walked around the room, gently patting Lily's back, I thought about how far we'd come. We had faced so many challenges together, and each one had brought us closer. I knew that parenthood would continue to test us, but I also knew that we had the strength and love to face it all. The community we had built around us also played a crucial role in our journey as new parents. Our neighbors, friends, and fellow volunteers rallied around us, offering support and advice. The community garden, once a symbol of our resilience, became a place where we shared parenting tips and swapped stories with other parents. One sunny afternoon, as we sat in the garden watching Lily crawl on the grass, a neighbor approached us with a smile. "She's growing so fast," she remarked. "Enjoy every moment. They grow up before you know it." Her words resonated deeply with me. I realized that amidst the chaos and exhaustion, it was important to cherish these fleeting moments. Jessica and I made a conscious effort to capture the little milestones: Lily's first laugh, her first steps, and her curious exploration of the world around her. As Lily grew older, we started incorporating her into our community activities. She became a regular fixture at the community garden, toddling around and helping us water the plants. Watching her interact with nature and the people around us filled us with pride and joy. One weekend, we decided to take a family trip to the beach. It was Lily's first time seeing the ocean, and her wide-eyed wonder reminded us of the magic of experiencing things for the first time. We spent the day building sandcastles, collecting seashells, and splashing in the waves. As the sun began to set, painting the sky with hues of orange and pink, Jessica and I sat on the beach, watching Lily play in the sand. "This is perfect," Jessica said, leaning her head on my shoulder. "I wouldn't trade this for anything." I wrapped my arm around her, feeling a profound sense of contentment. "Me neither. This is what it's all about, creating memories and enjoying the journey together." Our lives continued to evolve, and with each new challenge and triumph, our bond grew stronger. We faced the inevitable ups and downs of parenthood, always finding strength in our love and commitment to each other. Jessica's career flourished, and I found fulfillment in my work and our community projects. As Lily's first birthday approached, we decided to throw a celebration in the community garden. It was a joyous occasion, filled with laughter, love, and the company of friends and family. Watching Lily smash her first birthday cake and seeing the smiles on everyone's faces, I felt a deep sense of gratitude for the life we had built. That evening, as we tucked Lily into bed, Jessica turned to me with a smile. "We've come a long way, haven't we?" I nodded, feeling a rush of emotions. "We have, and I'm so excited for all the adventures yet to come." Our journey was far from over, but each step we took together strengthened our bond and deepened our love. We were ready to face whatever the future held, confident in our ability to navigate the challenges and cherish the moments of joy. With Lily in our lives, our world was brighter and our hearts were fuller. Together, we were ready for whatever came next, embracing the journey with open hearts and unwavering love. Lily's first birthday party had been a wonderful celebration, and as she continued to grow, so did our sense of family and community. Jessica and I found joy in the everyday moments, whether it was watching Lily learn to walk, hearing her first words, or simply spending quiet evenings together. Our lives were filled with a new sense of purpose and happiness. However, as with any journey, challenges arose that tested our strength and unity. One such challenge came in the form of a health scare for Jessica. She had been feeling unusually tired and had some persistent aches and pains that we initially attributed to the demands of parenthood and work. But when the symptoms didn't go away, we decided it was time to see a doctor. On the day of the appointment, we sat in the waiting room holding hands and trying to stay positive. The doctor ran several tests and scheduled a follow-up visit to discuss the results. The waiting period was filled with anxiety and uncertainty, but we tried to stay strong for each other. When the day came to hear the results, we were both nervous. The doctor explained that Jessica had an autoimmune condition that would require ongoing treatment and lifestyle adjustments. While the news was daunting, it was also a relief to have answers and a plan of action. Jessica looked at me with determination in her eyes. "We'll get through this, Adam. I know it's going to be tough, but we've faced tough times before, and we've always come out stronger." I nodded, feeling a mix of emotions. "Absolutely. We'll take it one step at a time, together." The next few months were challenging as we adapted to Jessica's new treatment regimen and made the necessary lifestyle changes. Our community once again proved to be a source of incredible support. Friends and neighbors stepped in to help with Lily, bringing meals and offering words of encouragement. Their kindness reminded us that we weren't alone in this journey. Jessica's strength and resilience amazed me every day. Despite the physical and emotional toll of her condition, she remained positive and focused on the things that mattered most: our family, our community, and our future. We found solace in our routines and the small joys that filled our days. One evening, as we sat on the porch watching Lily play in the yard, Jessica turned to me with a thoughtful expression. "I've been thinking about how lucky we are to have such a supportive community. I want to give back in a way that makes a real difference, especially for people facing health challenges." I squeezed her hand, feeling inspired by her determination. "That's a wonderful idea. What do you have in mind?" "I was thinking about starting a support group for people with autoimmune conditions. It could be a place where they can share their experiences, find support, and access resources. Maybe we could even collaborate with local health professionals to provide education and workshops." Her idea resonated deeply with me. "I love it. Let's make it happen." We began planning the support group, reaching out to local organizations and health professionals for guidance. The response was overwhelmingly positive, and soon we had a network of people eager to get involved. We found a venue and set a date for the first meeting, excited to see our vision come to life. The first support group meeting was both humbling and inspiring. People from all walks of life came together to share their stories, offer support, and build connections. Jessica's bravery in opening up about her own experiences helped create a safe and welcoming environment for everyone. As the group continued to grow, we realized the profound impact it was having on our community. People who had felt isolated and overwhelmed by their health challenges found solace and strength in the group. It became a place of healing, hope, and resilience. One evening, after a particularly moving meeting, Jessica and I sat together, reflecting on the journey we had taken. "I'm so proud of you," I said, my voice filled with emotion. You've turned a difficult situation into something incredibly positive. Jessica smiled, her eyes shining with gratitude. I couldn't have done it without you, Adam. Your support means everything to me. Our bond grew even stronger as we navigated this new chapter of our lives. We continued to find joy in the everyday moments and to draw strength from our community and each other. Our love and commitment to making a difference in the world deepened, guiding us through the challenges and triumphs of life. One weekend, we decided to take a short family trip to the mountains. The fresh air and scenic views provided a much-needed respite from our busy lives. We hiked, explored, and simply enjoyed each other's company. On the last evening of our trip, we sat by a campfire, roasting marshmallows and watching the stars. Jessica looked at me, her face illuminated by the flickering firelight. I'm so grateful for everything we have, Adam. No matter what challenges come our way, I know we'll face them together. I nodded, feeling a deep sense of contentment. We've built something beautiful, Jess, and I'm excited for all the adventures yet to come. As we sat there, surrounded by the beauty of nature and the warmth of our family, I realized how far we had come. Our journey had been filled with trials and triumphs, but through it all, our love had only grown stronger. We were ready for whatever the future held, confident in our ability to face it together, hand in hand. The mountains offered us a peaceful retreat and a chance to recharge. As we returned to our daily routines, we were filled with renewed energy and optimism. Jessica's support group continued to thrive, and I found myself increasingly involved in community projects. We were determined to make the most of every moment, grateful for the love and resilience that had brought us this far. One afternoon, while Lily was napping, Jessica and I sat down to discuss a new idea that had been brewing in her mind. I've been thinking about starting a wellness program at the community center, she began, her eyes sparkling with excitement. Something that combines physical fitness, mental health, and nutrition, holistic wellness. I was immediately intrigued. That sounds incredible. How do you envision it? We could offer yoga and meditation classes, nutritional workshops, and mental health seminars. It would be a place for people to come together, learn, and support each other in their wellness journeys, Jessica explained. And we could collaborate with local experts to provide the best resources. I smiled, feeling inspired by her passion. I love it, Jess. Let's start planning. We spent the next few weeks reaching out to potential partners, securing funding, and organizing the program. The community center was enthusiastic about the idea, and soon we had a team of instructors and health professionals on board. The program was set to launch in the fall, and the anticipation grew as the date approached. As we worked on the wellness program, we also continued to focus on our family. Lily was growing quickly, her curiosity and energy bringing endless joy to our lives. We made sure to carve out time for family adventures, whether it was a trip to the zoo, a picnic in the park, or simply playing together at home. One evening, after putting Lily to bed, Jessica and I sat on the porch, reflecting on our busy but fulfilling lives. I can't believe how much we've accomplished, Jessica said, leaning against me. From the support group to the wellness program, it feels like we're making a real difference. I wrapped my arm around her, feeling a deep sense of pride. We are, Jess, and it's all thanks to your vision and determination. Jessica smiled, her eyes filled with warmth. And your support. We make a great team. The wellness program launched with great success. The community center buzzed with activity as people attended classes, workshops, and seminars. The sense of camaraderie and support was palpable, and it was heartwarming to see so many people benefiting from the program. One day, while Jessica was leading a yoga class, I watched from the sidelines, marveling at her ability to inspire and motivate others. She had found her calling, and it was clear that she was making a significant impact on the lives of those around her. After the class, Jessica approached me with a radiant smile. Did you see the turnout today? It's amazing how many people are getting involved. I nodded, feeling a swell of pride. You're doing incredible work, Jess. I'm so proud of you. As the weeks went by, the wellness program continued to grow, attracting more participants and gaining recognition in the community. We received feedback from attendees who shared how the program had positively impacted their lives, reinforcing our belief in the importance of holistic wellness. One afternoon, as we were preparing for a nutrition workshop, Jessica turned to me with a thoughtful expression. I've been thinking about how we can expand our efforts beyond the community center. Maybe we could develop an online platform to reach more people, especially those who can't attend in person. I considered her idea, feeling excited about the possibilities. That's a great idea. We could offer virtual classes, webinars, and resources. It would allow us to extend our reach and help even more people. We began brainstorming and planning the online platform, enlisting the help of tech-savvy friends and professionals. The process was challenging but rewarding, and soon we had a functional website and a schedule of virtual events. The online platform launched to positive feedback, attracting participants from all over. Our efforts to promote wellness and support in the community and beyond brought us closer together as a couple. We found joy and fulfillment in working side by side, each of us bringing our strengths to the table. Our shared passion for making a difference strengthened our bond and deepened our love. One evening, after a particularly successful virtual seminar, we sat together, reflecting on our journey. "I can't believe how far we've come," Jessica said, her voice filled with wonder. "From the challenges we faced to the impact we're making now, it's been an incredible journey." I took her hand, feeling a deep sense of gratitude. We've come a long way, and it's all because of our love and determination. I'm excited for everything that lies ahead. As we looked toward the future, we knew that our journey was far from over. There would be new challenges and triumphs, but we were ready to face them together. Our love, resilience, and commitment to making a difference would guide us through whatever came next. With our hearts full of hope and our eyes set on new horizons, we embraced the next chapter of our lives, confident in our ability to create a future filled with love, growth, and meaningful connections. The success of our wellness program and the online platform brought a sense of accomplishment and fulfillment to our lives. We continued to find joy in our daily routines and the impact we were making in the community. However, life has a way of throwing curveballs when you least expect them, and we soon find ourselves facing new challenges. One crisp autumn day, while Jessica was leading a yoga class at the community center, I received an unexpected phone call. It was my younger brother, Mark, who lived in another state. His voice was tense and urgent. "Adam, I hate to drop this on you, but I need your help," Mark said. "I'm in a bit of a bind. I lost my job and things are falling apart. I need a place to stay, just until I get back on my feet." The news took me by surprise. Mark and I had always been close, but we hadn't seen each other in a while. I knew he was going through a tough time, and my instinct was to help. "Of course, Mark," I replied. "You can stay with us. Just get here safely, and we'll figure it out." When I told Jessica about Mark's situation, she was immediately supportive. "Family comes first," she said, her eyes filled with compassion. "We'll make it work." A few days later, Mark arrived at our doorstep, looking weary but relieved. We welcomed him with open arms, and Lily was excited to have her uncle around. Despite the circumstances, it was good to have Mark with us. As the weeks passed, Mark settled into our home. He actively looked for work, helped around the house, and even got involved in some of our community activities. However, the stress of his situation began to take a toll on all of us. The added dynamic tested our patience and resilience, especially as Jessica and I juggled our commitments with the wellness program and Lily's needs. One evening, after Lily had gone to bed, Jessica and I sat down to talk. "How are you holding up?" she asked, her voice gentle. I sighed, feeling the weight of the situation. "It's been tough. I'm worried about Mark, and I don't want this to strain our relationship." Jessica reached for my hand. "We'll get through this, Adam. We just need to communicate and support each other. Mark is family, and he needs us right now." Her words reassured me, and we decided to set some boundaries and establish a routine to help manage the added stress. We had a candid conversation with Mark, explaining our need for balance and asking for his cooperation. He was understanding and grateful for our support. As time went on, Mark found a part-time job and started making plans to move into his own place. The experience brought us closer, teaching us the importance of family and the strength of our support system. We also learned valuable lessons about communication and boundaries, which helped us maintain harmony in our home. During this time, the wellness program continued to flourish. One day, Jessica received an invitation to speak at a wellness conference in another city. It was a significant opportunity to share our work and expand our network. I think you should go, I said, excited for her. It's a great chance to showcase everything we've built. Jessica hesitated. I want to, but it's a big commitment. And with everything going on, I'm worried about leaving you and Lily. We'll be fine, I assured her. Mark is here to help, and it's only for a few days. You deserve this opportunity. After some consideration, Jessica agreed to attend the conference. As the date approached, we made sure everything was in place to ensure a smooth few days in her absence. When the day came, I dropped her off at the airport, feeling a mix of pride and anticipation. Go knock 'em dead, I said, giving her a hug. I will, she replied, smiling. Thank you for believing in me. While Jessica was away, I focused on keeping things running smoothly at home. Mark stepped up, helping with Lily and the household chores. We fell into a comfortable routine, and I was grateful for his support. Jessica's trip was a resounding success. She returned home energized and full of new ideas for the wellness program. The conference was amazing, she said, her eyes alight with excitement. I met so many incredible people and learned so much. I can't wait to share it all with you. As she recounted her experience, I felt a renewed sense of purpose and motivation. We spent the next few weeks implementing the new ideas and expanding our program, driven by Jessica's newfound inspiration. Mark eventually moved into his own place, and while we were sad to see him go, we were proud of the progress he had made. His time with us strengthened our bond and reminded us of the importance of family. One evening, as we sat on the porch, reflecting on the whirlwind of events, Jessica turned to me with a smile. We've faced so many challenges, but we always come out stronger. I'm so grateful for you, Adam. I squeezed her hand, feeling a deep sense of gratitude. I'm grateful for you too, Jess. Together, we can handle anything. As we looked out at the sunset, I realized how far we had come and how much we had grown. Our journey was filled with unexpected twists and turns, but through it all, our love and resilience carried us forward. We were ready to embrace whatever the future held, confident in our ability to face it together, hand in hand with hearts full of love and determination. As life settled back into a comfortable rhythm, we found ourselves dreaming about new adventures and opportunities. Jessica's wellness program continued to grow, and my involvement in community projects remained fulfilling. However, we both felt a pull toward something different, something that would challenge us and bring fresh excitement into our lives. One evening, as we sat on the porch after putting Lily to bed, Jessica brought up an idea that had been on her mind. What if we took some time to travel? Not just a short trip, but an extended journey to explore new places and cultures. I looked at her, intrigued. You mean like a long-term trip? How would we manage everything here? We could set up the wellness program to run with the help of our team, she suggested. And we could look into remote work opportunities. Plus, it would be an incredible experience for Lily to see the world at such a young age. The idea resonated with me. The thought of traveling and experiencing new cultures together was exciting, and it seemed like the perfect way to break out of our routine. I love the idea, Jess. Let's start planning. Over the next few weeks, we worked out the logistics of our plan. We spoke with our team at the wellness program, ensuring that everything would run smoothly in our absence. We also explored remote work options, both for Jessica's wellness coaching and for my community project consulting. The more we planned, the more feasible the idea became. We decided to start our journey in Europe, exploring a mix of bustling cities and picturesque countryside. Our itinerary included places like Paris, Barcelona, Rome, and the Swiss Alps. We wanted to experience a variety of cultures, cuisines, and landscapes, creating lasting memories for our family. As our departure date approached, we were filled with a mixture of excitement and nervousness. There were countless details to manage, but the anticipation of our adventure kept us motivated. We packed our bags, said our goodbyes, and boarded a plane, ready to embark on this new chapter. Our first stop was Paris. As we walked through the charming streets, marveling at the architecture and savoring delicious pastries, I felt a sense of wonder and excitement. Lily was equally fascinated, her wide eyes taking in all the new sights and sounds. One evening, as we stood beneath the sparkling Eiffel Tower, Jessica turned to me with a smile. This is exactly what we needed, a chance to explore and experience something new together. I nodded, feeling a deep sense of contentment. It's amazing, and we have so much more to look forward to. In Barcelona, we immersed ourselves in the vibrant culture, enjoying tapas and flamenco performances. We visited the stunning Sagrada Familia and strolled along the beach, soaking in the beauty of the Mediterranean. Lily loved playing in the sand and chasing after the waves, her laughter echoing in the warm sea breeze. Our journey continued to Rome, where we explored ancient ruins and marveled at the history that surrounded us. We tossed coins into the Trevi fountain, promising to return one day, and savored authentic Italian gelato as we wandered through charming piazzas. The Swiss Alps offered a completely different experience. We stayed in a cozy chalet, surrounded by breathtaking mountain views. We hiked through scenic trails, breathing in the crisp, fresh air, and even took Lily on her first cable car ride. The tranquility and beauty of the mountains provided a perfect balance to the bustling cities we had visited. Throughout our travels, we met incredible people, tasted diverse cuisines, and experienced the rich tapestry of cultures that make up our world. Each destination brought new adventures and memories, strengthening our bond as a family and filling our hearts with joy. One evening, as we sat on a balcony overlooking the serene Swiss landscape, Jessica turned to me with a thoughtful expression. "This journey has been amazing, Adam. It's reminded me of the importance of stepping out of our comfort zone and embracing new experiences." I smiled, feeling the same sense of gratitude. It's been incredible, and it's shown us that we can adapt and thrive no matter where we are. As our extended trip drew to a close, we found ourselves reflecting on the lessons we had learned and the memories we had made. We had grown closer as a family, discovering new facets of each other and ourselves. The experience enriched our lives in ways we hadn't anticipated, and we felt a renewed sense of purpose and excitement for the future. Returning home, we brought with us a wealth of experiences and a fresh perspective. We were eager to reintegrate into our community, bringing new ideas and inspiration to our wellness program and other projects. Our journey had shown us that the world was full of possibilities, and we were ready to continue exploring them together. One evening, back on our porch, Jessica turned to me with a smile. "What's next, Adam? What new adventure should we embark on?" I looked at her, feeling a rush of excitement. "Whatever it is, we'll face it together, just like we always have. The world is our oyster, Jess. Let's keep exploring and creating a life filled with love, growth, and adventure." As we sat there dreaming about the future, I realized that our journey was far from over. There would always be new challenges to face and new horizons to explore. But with Jessica by my side and Lily's laughter guiding us, I knew we were ready for anything. Our hearts were full, and our spirits were high, eager to embrace whatever came next with open arms and unwavering love.